It's a serious situation tonight for people in northern Maine, where heavy rains and snowmelt have sent the St. John River into flood stage. The biggest concern tonight centers on Fort Kent on the border with Canada. As NECN's Amy Sinclair tells us, emergency crews are evacuating residents and preparing for the worst.
Flooding is almost a rite of spring in many of Maine's riverfront communities. Waterfront Park in the state's capital, Augusta, is underwater, and store owners along Water Street are staying on high ground.
This is not the worst. We've had it deeper than this.
Here along the Kennebec, they're dealing with flooded-out basements, but up north, it could be much worse. If the St. John River does breach the dike, Fort Kent could see flooding of disastrous proportions.
We have some areas of great concern.
The state's Emergency Operations Center is in full swing. Everyone surveying the latest pictures and talking to crews on the ground in northern Aroostook County, trying to predict what the swollen St. John River will do when it crests.
In terms of the amount of water coming down the river, this is a historic event.
Fort Kent, a border community of around 5,000 people, is most vulnerable.
Historically, the town has been protected by a protective dike or barrier that was built, and the water is, at present, we understand, getting behind that and may go over it when the flood crests.
The river will crest at 30.3.
Game wardens and local police began evacuating people Tuesday night when smaller rivers overflowed, flooding homes in the river valley. The international bridge that spans the St. John is now closed, and sections of major roads, including Route 1, are already underwater, making rescue operations more complex.
Whole downtown of Fort Kent is going to have to be evacuated, along with all the evacuations that have already taken place. We have like 25 game wardens up there.
After a morning briefing from the state's emergency management agency, Governor John Baldacci decided to fly north to survey the growing disaster zone for himself.
Maine has 1,300,000, but we know each one of them personally and intimately, and it's sort of like everybody knows or is related to everyone else, and we watch out for each other. So this is a big deal.
He says saving lives comes first. Then they'll watch and wait to see what the raging river will do. In Augusta, Maine, Amy Sinclair, NECN.